My dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, I welcome all of you for this 33rd Sunday in ordinary time. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I'll spend first 4 sharpening the axe, says Abraham Lincoln. Preparedness is the essential factor of our day-to-day life. We prepare for each and everything in our life. We prepare for any celebration. We prepare for our day-to-day activities. So, preparedness is the essential factor in our life. Today, the liturgy of the word invites all of us to prepare ourselves for our Christian life. Very specially to invite the eternal King into our life, that is Jesus Christ. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, today in the Gospel reading, Jesus is talking about 3 main warnings, and Jesus is giving these 3 warnings to the disciples. The first one is the destruction of the temple. Jesus is telling the temple will be destroyed one day. Temple is the essential and important thing for the Jews, and they considered temple as a precious one. Temple is sacred for them, and the temple about which Jesus was talking is the 3rd Jerusalem temple. The first one was built by Solomon, and this temple about which Jesus was talking, that was started building in 19 or 20 BC, and they could complete only in 60 AD. And the temple was so beautiful, huge in structure, and everybody wondered about that temple. They used marbles, they used golden plates to beautify this temple. So the Jews, they were proud of this temple. Not only the Jews, the disciples also, they were happy by looking at this huge structure, this beautiful temple. And Jesus, it was this time, Jesus telling that this beautiful and huge temple, one day it will be destroyed, is telling. And by giving this warning, Jesus is trying to give them a message that he will be one day crucified and he will be put into death. Like this temple, I am here now, but one day this temple will be destroyed. So like the same, I will be put into death, is telling. This is the first message that Jesus is telling to the disciples. And second is inviting them that after my death, you have to face so many persecutions. You have to face so many difficulties and sufferings in your life for my sake. And he is inviting them to prepare themselves to accept this suffering, to face this suffering and persecutions in their life. Today, like this temple, your life is happy and joyful. But Jesus is telling that one day, as this temple is going to be destroyed, you will also face many challenges and difficulties. You prepare yourselves to face these challenges, to face these difficulties, to face these persecutions and sufferings. Many brothers, it is the invitation not only for the disciples, he is inviting all of us. He is inviting all of us to prepare ourselves to live this Christian life today in our society. We have to face many challenges. We have to accept sufferings. He is inviting us to prepare ourselves to face the challenges, difficulties, sufferings, and even persecutions for the sake of Christ. That is the first invitation Jesus is giving to us by telling the first warning, that is destruction of the temple. Secondly, the second warning about which Jesus is talking is the false prophets. When he is talking about the destruction of the temple, they are asking, how will it happen? When will it happen? Here, Jesus is giving them the second warning. That is, be aware of the false prophets. Which means Jesus is inviting the disciples that when you do your ministry, when you go around, you are around many false people, many false prophets. You stand for the truth. Here the truth is Jesus himself, because he himself says, I am the way, truth and the life. So he is asking them to stand for this truth, to stand for Jesus. And it is the invitation also for us, my dear brothers and sisters, that in our society we are living in a false and narrow ways. We are living in this society where corruption is there, where people are not standing for justice, people are not loving each other. Amidst this society, we are called to stand for the truth. We are called to stand for the gospel values. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, and this is the second invitation that Jesus is giving to all of us, to prepare ourselves to stand for the truth in our life. And truth is Jesus himself. And this is what he's telling by giving the second one. He's giving the third warning to the disciples. It is about the end of the world, the last day, the judgment day. He's talking about the natural calamities, by which he is inviting his disciples to prepare themselves for the change of heart, for the change of life, by explaining about the final judgment, the last day, the end of the world. Is asking them to prepare themselves for the change of life. It is also an invitation for each one of us, my dear brothers and sisters, that by listening to these words of Jesus, that one day we will be judged and one day we all will die. By understanding this, that we are called to change our sinful nature and to live a meaningful Christian life. And this is what is trying to say, for which we are called to prepare. Yes, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, by giving these three warnings, Jesus is actually inviting us to prepare ourselves. He is inviting us to prepare ourselves to face the difficulties and challenges, persecutions and sufferings. He is inviting all of us to prepare ourselves to stand for the truth. He is inviting all of us to prepare ourselves for the change of life. So, preparedness is the central theme for today's liturgy of the word. Are we ready to prepare ourselves? Jesus is coming. He is coming as a king, as an eternal and messianic king. And let us welcome this king into our heart, into our life. So, my brothers and sisters, let us prepare ourselves to live meaningful Christian life and to welcome this messianic and eternal king into our life. May God bless all of you.